Hi there, this is going to be a video to show you how to correct forecaster assignment errors in BOIVerify. Alright, first thing we do is we come up here and we click on Verify and go to BOIVerify-Info. Now this right here will pull up the most recent forecast, and you can see that right here we've got some colors like this is white, that's red, this is kind of a pink color, and you can move this slider around all the way through the entire forecast package. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to fix where there's been some mistakes made, or not really mistakes, but just BOIVerify was unable to determine who owns the grid. Now if you look here, you see how this is red right here, and you look over here to this table and you see that red corresponds with Joe. Now BOIVerify was able to determine that Joe did this high temperature grid and also did these pop grids, these QPF grids, a lot of these wind grids here, and some of these dew point grids. But however, you see that this is white, these two are white, and there's a lot of white grids in there. Now what happens is these white grids here in the wind direction come from the interpolate procedure. And whenever you interpolate, the parts that were created due to the interpolation process, BOIVerify is not able to determine who those belong to. And in addition, right here, you'll see that this white grid right here for the temperature was created when the temperature dew point consistency check was run, and it had to make a correction or force a temperature to match the minimum T in this case, or other cases. And you'll also see that this happens here with the dew points. You see how there's some white grids occasionally in there. If we go on through this forecast, we'll see that here's another one. Here was a low temperature further out that was also white, with some white temperature grids here, and there's a few more white there in the dew point. Alright, now what we want to do is to go through here and correct these. So we're going to click on Joe right here, go to this right here, which is his overnight low, and correct that and see how it changed to red. Now these two white grids right here were caused by the no pop, no QPF probably, and we're going to go ahead and make those red since those belong to Joe. Pardon the wiggling. Alright, now when Joe did the winds, you see how all the way through the entire forecast period it's kind of like red and white due to the interpolation process. Well, a neat thing is that I can click on this right here, and you see this box that's dragging out? I can go through this entire period right here and assign all at once all of those white grids to belong to Joe. Isn't that pretty neat? Now we're going to come back here. See, now these red ones here are for Joe, and these pink ones here belong to John Purdy. Now what John did is he ran, just kind of swept out all the max and min humidities and everything, just like we all do. The only problem with that is BOIVerify gets confused about who they actually belong to. And we're going to fix that. Alright, now we look here and we see that Joe had some humidities in here, but a couple white ones that were caused by the consistency check. So let's fix those to Joe. This one here is Joe. And then you see here these purple ones, those belong to Jack. And what Joe did is he kept those humidities right there. Those dew points. So right here we've got Joe's high temperature, Joe's dew points. That means that these humidities, of course, from the dew point and the temperature, belong to Joe. So we'll change that there. And if all those humidities belong to Joe, that means this minimum RH belongs to Joe. Now let's look here. We see we got Joe's low temperature, but we've got Jack's dew points. That means that these humidities right here are actually a collaborative effort between Joe and Jack. And see how I can click more than one person right there? So I'm going to go ahead and assign those to Jack and Joe, and that means that this maximum RH also belongs to Max and Joe. Alright, well that was pretty much the complicated one through here. Let's go through these highs and lows now. Make sure that any of these white ones are assigned to the proper person. So here's John Purdy. Get him fixed. And we'll zoom on out. Oh, there's another one. Okay, now there are a few little white ones in there in the temperatures too there. As you can see all the way through that. So we need to fix those too. And I just realized I forgot to do something back here, which was these hourly temps for Joe. Since those are his highs and lows, you know, since we ran the diurnal temperature tool or what have you, these right here are actually Joe's. It's just that John was being nice and swept out the whole area. So we just need to make those Joe's, which is fine. Alright, let's go back here. Let's fix those white parts there so that they belong to John. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, rather than click on a whole bunch of them individually, I'm just going to sweep those suckers out and take care of it all in one bunch. Now similarly, you see all these whites and the dew points that were made, you know, when the temperature dew point consistency tool was run. Those we need to go through and fix as well. And I can just sweep them all out and do them all at once. And notice that if I had some other things I need to fix, I could like do a whole bunch like that. But we don't want to do that. We just want to do these dew points. And then we just go back and do a double check and make sure that we don't have any grids that are still unassigned. And everything looks good. By the way, up here you can change to the previous forecast cycle like that, and you can see that these are all taken care of and been all correctly assigned, no white grids. And you can go back and forth like that and just kind of look. Now here's a good example. Here's a white grid, but it's before our forecast valid period, so you don't have to worry about those. Alright, well I hope that helps explain everything. When you're done, the only thing you have to do is just come down here to the done, and you're done.